What is up, guys? Well, we
Here
are
we are.
here. We're here. Ron's here. We have a special guest with us, Adam from Ride Dog. Wait, what's the full name? I don't even know. Ride Dog Trackers?
Calling Ride Dog GPS.
Ride Dog
Dog,
GPS. There we go.
the best
Uh,
GPS out there.
it really is, So I'm on my third GPS tracker. I started with Optimus. Honestly, full disclosure, Optimus was fine. There really wasn't anything wrong with Optimus. My biggest complaint was the battery life and also the random, your trailer is 20 miles over there. Wait, no, it's home. No, it's over there. No, it's home. Like that
So
would
that
happen.
GPS drift.
Yeah, and
Is
that was
that
the
what it is?
problem with
Yeah.
mine was mine would literally because I'm on water, right? So three-quarters of my trailers were in the middle of the bay at any given time. And I'm like, I'm not even close to the bay. I'm like 10 miles away. How are they in the bay? But when we all started this is what we had. We had Optimus.
And so then
Everybody
I
was
ended up
Optimus.
going to Verizon, which was really dumb. Like, hey, business is about making mistakes or learning from other people's mistakes. And so the big selling point with Verizon is their battery life is about 3 years. And it literally, I've probably had them on there for like 6 or 7 months now. Nine, no, probably I'm coming up on a year already. And they're still like 98%. Like they literally last forever. The reporting and the pings are stupid. Like the fastest ping you can get is a 15 minute. And if you're chasing a stolen trailer, like what good is that? Like it doesn't do you
Yeah.
anything. And on top of that, like it's like their software is pretty broken. It seems broken. I'm not gonna use definitives because I don't need anyone coming after me. But for me, like I would tell it, hey, I want you to tell me as soon as the trailer leaves, and like literally 6 hours later, that trailer just left your lot. And I was like, no, that was 6 hours ago, guys. So I learned about Ride Dog, and I all of my even my RVs, they all have the trackers, and they have been incredibly accurate. Like it's nice having that data, and to the point now where Ride Dog and Renflow have a collaboration, a connection, and we're able to glean a lot of information from those trackers and do fun stuff like child charge for mileage and stuff like that. Hey, this isn't a commercial. Like that's not what we're here for. I went off on a tangent, but all that to say, like if you're in the market for a good quality tracker that's affordable, like absolutely 100%, I fully say Ride Dog is a really great product. So good for
I
you
appreciate you saying that.
in
And I
building
do
this.
wish to point out, he's not being paid to say that.
No, I
Yeah.
wish. Hey, we should have a talk after this. I'm just kidding.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
grab a checkbook.
here,
How do I
here's
get
my
in on this? How do I get out on
right.
this?
Here's my thing, and I'm a small business. Renflow is a small business. Ride Dog is a small business. Sunny Side Up Trailer Rentals is a small. G Town, like these are all small businesses, right? And we should want to see each other grow and prosper together. And when you find a company that is truly taking care of their customers, why wouldn't you want to partner with them? And why does it need to be paid to have that partnership? Like there are scenarios where paying for relate like that does make sense in scenarios, but like this to me, nah. Like no, I'll give this example. I'm not going to even name their names. I use one brand locks on all of my trailers, and I approached them saying, "Hey, like, throw me a bone. Not throw me a bone. Throw me a bone so that I can throw my customers a bone, right? Because I believe in your product, and I want to be able to help them afford your product, right? Like even 5% or something small, something, anything." And nope, they won't do it. It's like, okay, well, I guess either I'm not big enough or you think you're too big. I don't know which one it is. I think it's actually the second. I think it's the latter. And you know what's interesting is those guys keep commenting on my TikTok. I'm getting all hot and flustered. It pisses me off. They keep commenting on my TikToks, and it's like, dude, like, stop. Like, we don't have a relationship. You didn't want a relationship with us. Stop commenting on my stuff.
Are you
Anyway,
going to the NATDA show in Nashville, Rudy?
you know what? I need to. I need to.
I wonder
I'm
if they're
not
going to have a
scheduled
booth
to, but I
there.
need to. Do what?
I wonder if they're gonna have a booth there where there might be a little bit of a FaceTime, person to person conversation that might go a little bit further. But I don't know. I'll be there. I'm flying down the first, taking my daughter. My 13-year-old daughter's going down with me. It's gonna be a blast. Taking her to see the show at the Grand Ole Opry, and then she's gonna be bored out of her mind the next day, just walking around the show with me. But
That's all right.
I think I would bet that they're there. It might be a good opportunity to go have some FaceTime with them.
I don't know that it would go very well, to be
Probably
honest.
not. If they're not interested, they're not interested. But
So let me say this, because on one of those posts where they commented, I replied and I was like, "Hey, we really should have a conversation because you guys kind of did us dirty." And they were like, "Yeah, here's an email. You can contact me directly." And I emailed, and guess what they did? Never responded. This is like 3 weeks ago.
Radio silence.
Radio silence. It's like, guys, like I'm not asking for a kickback. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for anything other than for you to take care of my customers. Like that's really all I want. And that's the Ride Dog and Renflo relationship. Like I believe in the product, and so I'm going to promote a product that I believe in. And Adam and Ride Dog take care of Renflo customers. That's what I want. I want those guys to be taken care of, not me. It's okay. I'll pay full price. It's fine. So that's my soapbox, and I'm sticking to it. You know what I really wanted to talk about, and it's cool that we have Adam here because you see a different angle of the business than we do. Is like the trends that you see in the business, what your perspective is on this very niche group, right? So where you think it's going. I don't know, just like what is your perspective like looking at the trailer rental industry, because in the last probably 18 months it came from nothing to something, and now it's like it's growing really, really quickly. Like what does it feel like from your side?
I see a lot of demand for knowledge, for information, for data on what works, what doesn't, what's scalable, what's not. I'm a big, huge Alex Hormozzi fan. I think that he's got enough content out there that's it's pumping that kind of thought process for people. So they're starting to say, hey, if I'm going to get into this, what's going to work the best? What trailer rents out the most? What, sits on your lot? I don't think people quite understand how, location based that is. Dump trailers out in my area here in just south of Salt Lake City do really well because there's a ton of construction going on, new homes, new projects. There's always something happening. A dump trailer is probably not going to do so well in the middle of Dallas, Texas, in like high rises and apartments all over the place. But I see a lot of people that are just, they're starving for that data. They want to know that information so that they can make the best decisions as they're starting. There's still a lot of people that are just jumping the gun. Hey, I'm going to go buy a trailer. I already have a trailer. Let's get this started, see where it goes. But I see more and more that people are looking to say, hey, what do the facts say? What is the dollar doing for your company? What are you guys spending it on? What's becoming of that money? I think, I don't know how to best approach people, giving them that information, because on one hand, there's people only hear what they want to hear. I think a lot of these guys have already decided what they're going to buy and are just looking to justify, I already have this car hauler or whatever it is. But
Confirmation bias.
Exactly. Yep. They're just looking to get that confirmation that they're doing the right thing. And there's tons, and I really think that's why there's so many different groups out there. On the Facebook, there's tons and tons of trailer rental owner groups. I just think they're all just kind of feeding off of each other, seeking that information, seeking that data. I think there's an opportunity for Renflo to compile some of that data. You guys, Rudy, I've seen your posts about, the dollars that are moving through the companies and who's making, who's moving, all that kind of stuff. The more of that stuff you guys put out there, I think that's what's really going to pull more people in, because it almost qualifies you as the industry expert, right? And with the new platform that you launched on Friday, going through everything, I think that puts you guys in a perfect position to put more of that information out there to really educate the people and say, hey, here's what's working, here's what's not working. If you do it this way, or you buy, even little simple things like, hey, if you're going to buy a car hauler, get drive over fenders. spend a little bit extra money, get some drive over, because like that's what's going to make that extra money for them. I think Rentflow is in a good place to start pushing that kind of content and information out there for people.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And what's really cool with this new platform is we've already built a lot of that into it to where we can drill down to specific. I mean, we can already tell you what types are the most popular, and right now, hands down, across the industry, car haulers win. Easily car haulers win. But that comes with a caveat. Most people start with car haulers anyway, and so that data can be a little bit skewed in that way. But also, so now we can drill it down even to regional, like zip codes and cities, and like the Detroit metro area and like that type of thing, to what is renting in those areas. So yes, we will have all of that data. We already have a lot of it, just not that granular quite yet. Once everyone has moved over, probably 2 and 3 months in, we'll really be able to speak definitively on what's the most popular. But if you're listening to this and you're wanting to get started, I will tell you right now, your first trailer should be a car hauler. Now, Adam said drive over fender. I would honestly say, like, if that's kind of out of your budget, that's okay also. My very first trailer was at least go 10K, for sure go 10K, right? But it's not drive over fender. That trailer is still a contender for being the most popular in my fleet, and it's not drive over fender, and those fenders are still intact. Like, we're still okay. Are you at a higher risk of getting damage? Yes, obviously, but it is significantly more affordable to go that way. I think that trailer was under $5,000 brand new for me.
Or removable fenders will keep you out of that market
Removable
too.
fender, yeah, exactly. So that type of trailer services probably almost 90% of the customers that call me for a car hauler. It's rare that someone's calling me because they need to tow a 3/4 or a full-ton truck or some sort of equipment or something like that. They're just trying to go and pick up the car that broke down on the side of the freeway. And 9 times, almost 10 times out of 10, those cars don't have tires that are super wide or anything like that. A normal vehicle, any normal vehicle, half ton and under, is going to be serviceable with that trailer. So you're going to be okay with that type of trailer if you can afford. So I'm going to keep going for just a second. Here's the thing. If you want to go drive over fenders, but that means you can only buy one trailer, then I would say downgrade and get the regular fenders and buy a second trailer, which would either be a dump trailer or an enclosed, right? That would be your second trailer. If you can go 3, then go the trifecta. Get a car hauler, get an enclosed, and get a dump. And then you're just going to kind of figure out what does the best for you. For sure. Don't sell anything if it's sitting too long. I'm a perfect example of that. My dump trailer sat for probably 4 months, 5 months without moving a single time. Now I have 3. I can't keep the stupid things on my lot.
I remember your TikToks about that a few months ago, where it just like out of nowhere, like one weekend, it just took off, and now
that was my enclosed trailer. It was hilarious. Like, literally, I made a TikTok. That trailer over there never moved, and literally like 30 minutes later, I get a call for it. And then that one became my most popular for a good 6 weeks running. And right now, it's on a 7-day rental going to Florida. That it made me literally $1,000 on one rental. And of course, guess what happens? Because it has been sitting for about 4 weeks again. It got a little stagnant. It leaves, and then guess what happens? I get a call. Hey, do you have an enclosed available? No, I don't. That's just the way it goes, and I don't have the stomach for enclosed trailers. Ron does. I do not. The reason I do not is because they're not forgiving, and people, the general population, cannot back up a trailer to save their lives. What happens when you can't back up a trailer? You run into things. When you run into things with an enclosed trailer, you fuck it up.
Horribly.
Oh, it costs a lot of money to repair, and so that's why I don't have the stomach for it. If you run into something with a steel car hauler or utility trailer, guess what? I'll never even know that you hit something. I'll never even know. So
And see, up here in
Yeah.
the north, we have to have the enclosed because
Yeah.
of winter. If I lived where you lived, where we didn't have snow, I wouldn't have a single enclosed in my fleet. I wouldn't, because technically you can haul an open trailer all year round down there. So up here, everybody wants to put their stuff inside because they don't want it to get mucked up. Obviously,
And that speaks to what Adam said earlier, is it really is a regional thing. There's not a
it's
right or
completely
wrong
regional.
answer.
Yep. That's why whenever these guys come onto, the Facebook websites and they ask, what should I buy? The first question I always ask
Where
myself
you
is,
located.
have you looked at what's available around you? Have you stopped off at your trailer sales and dealership and said, hey, what sells the most? What are you selling the most of?
Yeah.
What purchases the most around here? Because that was the first thing I did, was I stopped off at my local trailer dealer and went, what do you sell the most of? That
Yeah.
tells you right there what you should buy, you know?
There are definitely brands to stay away from
Oh,
and
brands,
brands to
yes.
purchase. Like, I'm not going to say who not to purchase, but I will say that I have a lot of low trail and they're quality at a reasonable price too. Then you have your Max D's and some of like PJ's good brand. Like, there's good brands out there. So do that sort of homework. But
But
as
going to your
far as
point
like,
earlier, you can buy 2 load trails for almost what a Max D is going to run you.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. I am a PJ fan. I've got some PJs. I like my PJ, but I also bought it on clearance from a dealership that was going under. So,
I have 3 PJs. I bought them used from a rental company. He was actually a Renflo users, and he was moving, and so he liquidated. And I bought 3. I got really lucky. I got a B5, a B6, and I think it's not a T8. It's a 14K utility trailer. So those 3 for $12,000.
wow.
Like, yeah,
That's a steal.
it was a good deal.
Did he call the cops on you as you were leaving?
Right? That's I don't know if you remember those TikToks, but that's when they were stacked on each other, and I got the first one off successfully. The second one fell off the side, and you know what? They're steel. Like, you wouldn't even know the difference. So whatever, it is what it is. Ah, good times. So Adam, tell us how you got into the trailer thing, because you didn't start with trailers. You started with like
Power sports.
tell us the story. Tell us the story.
Yeah. So Ride Dog got its start in the power sports industry. That's where the ride and the Ride Dog name comes from. You ride your dirt bike, you ride your four-wheeler, ride your side-by-side. There's about 20,000 pieces of power sports equipment stolen in the United States every year. And so I looked at that and said, man, that's a problem. That's about every 30 minutes. That's a huge problem. And like any entrepreneur, if you see a problem, you solve a problem, right? So I had that kind of in the back of my mind. But then I also, way back when, and before I started this, I owned an event rental company. I rented out tables, chairs, tents, all that kind of stuff. And ended up buying a small little subcompact tractor, trailer, a few other things to start renting out more on the equipment side of things, and needed a tracker to put on them. And couldn't find what I wanted in the tracker, so like any good entrepreneur, I went and built it myself. Namely, the things
just like Renflo.
Exactly. Yeah, you and I have had this conversation a couple times, like 100%. The biggest things that I was looking for was, one is an audible alert system that would actually get my attention. I sleep like I'm dead at night. I'm hard of hearing in the first place. If I'm relying on a text message or an email to let me know that somebody's stealing my stuff, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to hear it. Especially since a lot of theft happens at night. If that comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to see it till I get up at 6 a.m. They've got a 4-hour head start on me. At that point, they're out of the state. They're gone. So I wanted something that would actually get my attention. And so with Ride Dog, we built an audible alarm system. It actually sounds an alarm on your phone. It can bypass your do not disturb settings. It will wake you up in the middle of the night and say, hey, right now you've got a problem. Something's going on. Maybe it's your neighborhood kid, maybe not, I don't know, but you better get out there and see what's happening with it. And so that's kind of what drove me to start Ride Dog, was just looking for a product that I couldn't find myself, and then launched into the power sports industry. We still sell pretty well there. I thought side-by-sides were going to be my number one market, and they're definitely not. I sell a lot to Jeep owners. In fact, I've got a new product coming out for the Jeeps here fairly soon. We've got basically just a starter interrupter kill switch that we're launching that'll go with the devices and be a feature in the app. It can also work on equipment too. If anybody's got equipment, it'll work for that. But as we started selling into the power sports industry, you know, if you have a side by side, you've got a trailer to put it on. If you got a dirt bike, you probably have something to put it on. Four wheelers, all that stuff. You know, camp trailers to go with it, the toy haulers. And so as we were selling to those guys, they were all saying, "Well, what can I put on my trailer? Do you have something for my trailer? Where's my trailer stuff?" And I said, "I don't really have anything." So we started looking into it, started building out, getting ideas, and you know, here we are a year and a half later with a full line of options for trailers and more coming. But basically, it was just that was what the customers were asking for. You know, we thought we were selling to one place, and they said, "Yeah, well, that's great, but I need something for this other side of things too." And that's what led me to get into trailers in the first place. And then found a couple of the Facebook groups, got involved in those, started posting on my own little TikTok channel. And there's just a ton of trailer rental companies out on TikTok, which is awesome. I like seeing all the content, like the way all the trailer companies kind of support each other on social media, especially on TikTok, it's awesome. And so just started engaging with those guys, and they're like, "Hey, we need more stuff for trailers. We have trailers. Well, now I sell 10 to 1 to trailers. And so it's been a good ride, good kind of a natural evolution of the product for us. And like I said, we've got some good stuff coming down the pipeline that I think is going to take it to the next level.
It's interesting how you started off in one direction and switched to another. You know, like you started off thinking that your side by sides were going to be your number one deal, but Jeeps and trailers. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's
but you know what, that is true entrepreneurship. That is it in a nutshell.
You roll with it.
Renflow's the same story. I really just wanted to rent out trailers, and I was looking for a software that made sense for me, and there at the time wasn't one out there. And so I have that background. I built it for myself selfishly because I needed something. And then I was like, obviously people need this. Let's start offering it to people. And it's like, oh, wow. Like this is the thing. And now it's the main thing. So that's just the way that it goes. Like if you're willing to step back and listen to your gut, listen to your intuition and let it guide you, it will take you down paths that I had no idea Renflow would be a thing 2 years ago. Like zero idea. And now it's like, we could probably argue that we're the biggest trailer rental software. I don't know numbers for other companies, but that's kind of I think that we're probably right there. If we're not number one, we're number two for sure. But that's just kind of crazy to think like who would have thought? But here we are.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, even stacking on that 6 months ago, I bet you didn't think you'd be integrating toll booth data into the platform to provide that level of things, you know?
No, absolutely not. And that's a really interesting situation because so Adam got me the API information to connect Renflow and Ride Dog, and so that like the way that my brain works is I'm not going to rest until like everything is done, and so I go in there and I start building this stuff, and it's like, ooh, I can probably do this. Ooh, I could probably do that. Oh, let's add a maintenance log based on the miles. And it's like it's all these little things that you can do with it. It's like a kid in a candy. It literally is a kid in a candy store. John, my partner, gets so pissed at me because it's like, dude, like slow down, like one thing at a time. And it's like, but I have all these things that I want to do right now.
Like from my side looking over to your side, I was like, dude, like you were just going wild with this stuff. And you know, I was making a list of the whole, you know, watching you go along. And stuff I took back to my business partner, said, hey, we need to add this and that. And he goes, where are you getting this? I said, Rudy. And he'd just kind of shake his head and, okay, yep, I get it. You're like, again, Rudy's not paying me to say this. You know, this is completely, you know, friendship based. But like, it's been an absolute blast to watch Rudy and really everybody over there just take the simple thing that we gave, and like, hey, here's some GPS data. We can show you this little piece of the pie, and watch what they built out with it. It's just been insane to just the maintenance logs and the toll stuff. Like it's just been crazy to watch, and how fast you guys did it was kind of mind-boggling to me.
Again, like I would stay up until like 3 a.m, just going, and then waking up at 6 or 7, 6:30 usually, and let's go. Like, where did I leave off? Because like if I rest, then what do they call it in the Facebook movie? I don't remember, but it's like when you're in the zone, like you're in it, and like you can't let any distractions mess with you because then you're taken out of it, and and you lose your momentum. So, yeah, no, it was getting that API information from you was a game changer for us because we're offering things that no one else. I mean, I think that there's, I don't know, I think at this point other people are doing it. I think I don't even know, but
There's a lot of other people that have had the opportunity. There's
there you go.
other companies that have approached us that we've have the same. It's the same API connection, but to watch what they do with it versus what you like. And again, I'm not going to name names, but there's a few other big name platforms out there that have had the exact same stuff, and they just sit on it, and they just
Choose not to do anything with it.
exactly. And I feel like that they're in it for the wrong reasons. I feel like they've got some different motivations behind it that I don't get the sense from Rudy and his team, that it's not just all about the money, it's about the value that they can bring to their platform. But
That's literally it. Like I want you to love your software. I want every single RentFlow user to be like, this is all I need. This is literally all I need, and not even think twice about going to someone else because they have everything all under one roof. So we've talked about how RentFlow started. I'll briefly and how Ride Dog started. I'll briefly mention how Sunnyside started, and then I want Ron to kind of go through it because now at this point we've all done it. So Sunnyside, I'll be honest, I'm like a lot of you out there. I saw Juan on TikTok over and over and over again, and that's how the algorithm works. If you watch a video to completion, it's like, oh, he must have liked it. Let's show him another one. And so then here's this guy that rents out trailers, and it's like, well, if he can do it, I can do it, right? And I was already renting out travel trailers. So it felt natural, and it's like, oh, well, I'll go buy one of each. I bought not an enclosed. I bought a 20-foot utility. If I could go back, I would have bought a 16 to start with. I bought a 20-foot utility, a 20-foot car hauler, and a 16-foot dump trailer. Nope, I started with the two. I didn't even get a dump trailer. I put a dump trailer on my website, and I said, as soon as someone rents it, I'm going to go and buy it. And that's exactly what happened. Like anything, like any normal business, it's not going to take off as fast as you think it's going to. And that's kind of where the software thing came in. It's like, well, crap. Like I assumed that like my travel trailers primarily rent off of RV Share and Outdoorsy and those platforms. So I thought it would be the same thing using the platforms that are built for regular trailers. And it just like, no, it's not the same thing. They were not moving. And so then I realized, man, I actually have to work. And so I got my Google business page going, and I, did a little bit of the legwork, and then that's where the software came in. But I'm going off on a tangent there. Sunnyside started because I give Juan credit. Like I saw his TikToks and I saw that he was able to be successful and he had helped a lot of other people. So I bit the bullet and I paid the $50 and I joined that group. And I bought the trailers, and here we are. Now I have a fleet of 12, and that company makes good money. Last month it made 15. The month before it made 16. So those returns are really good for a business like that. And that's how RentFlow ultimately was born. And RentFlow is now the main thing because now we get to help trailer rental businesses do the same thing that we were able to do. Ron, tell us your start.
It's much like yours, Rudy. Like, so my wife's it's during COVID, right? And my wife's showing me these videos on her phone, and I'm like, where are you watching these things from? She's like, it's this app called TikTok. Well, like everybody, here I am. I'm like, oh, well, that seems pretty cool. Let's download TikTok, right? So we download TikTok, and all of a sudden, like you said, the algorithm starts picking up what I want to look at. Next thing, there's this one guy, and he's like, this trailer's going out today, and that's making me $852. This trailer's going out, and it's making me $32. And he's doing all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, wow, this guy's on something. He's renting trailers out. And then I started to think, well, there's nobody around here doing this, right? There's like literally nobody besides U-Haul around here. And half the time you don't even get a car trailer from this place, right? Like you go in there and you ask for a car trailer and they don't even have a car trailer. They've got like this utility trailer. Even though they have car trailers. It's weird. So I'm like, okay, so I tabled it for a while, and then I start watching more and I'm watching more. And next thing you know, it's all my algorithm is. And I'm like, this is something's telling you got to do this, right? You got to go out and do this. So I set out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go buy a car trailer and I'm going to buy a dump trailer. And then I'm just going to see how it goes, right? So I head off to my local trailer dealer and I said, hey, I know you guys used to have a rental portion. What happened? He goes, well, we just had to make a decision that either we're going to sell trailers or else we're going to rent trailers. And we spent way too much time fixing trailers. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So I left. I'm like, this guy just scared me. Okay. And I'm like, fixing trailers all the time. So I'm like, I go back home, a couple weeks go by, and I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to do it. What's the worst? It's going to happen. So I roll up in there and I'm like, okay, I'm here to buy a car trailer and a dump trailer. He's like, why just a car trailer and a dump trailer?
That's a good salesperson.
He is. He's probably one of the best. And you know what I do for a living. And he's probably one of the best that I've ever seen. He's like, well, why wouldn't you buy an 8.5 by 16? And then you can get all the UTV guys. And if you get a 14-foot utility trailer, you can rent to the guy who needs to move storage sheds. He goes, this is the trailer we rented out the most was our utility trailers. Next thing you know, Ron's taking 5 trailers home.
You took 5? You got 5 trailers off the bat? Wow.
Meanwhile, the sales guy went and booked a cruise with Ron's money.
Just counting it out, right? So here I am. I've got 5 trailers in my driveway.
Real quick. I want to know this because Ron is in the car business and he's been in the car business forever. Is it really hard for you to walk into a place like that and feel like you're not getting bent over? Like, walk me through that like mental process of buying all that and being like, this guy is full popping me right now.
Like I was in the shower, sitting on the floor, crying, knowing all too well I had just gotten fucked. But no, all seriousness. He's taken care of me. There's been instances where I have taken my stuff in there. Like, I just had that damage from that guy who did that long haul. Didn't charge me a dime.
Really?
Like he's taken really, really good care of me. So I at this point I'm like full pop on all trailers. I'm fine with it because I know that I'm going to get it back in the service. I call up there and I say, hey, I need this. When can you get my trailer? Like that scenario, I called him on a Friday evening because I've got his personal cell phone number now. He's like, drop it off Monday. We'll have it back to you on Tuesday.
That's incredible.
So when you get service like that, how do you not buy stuff from them? How do you argue the price on it?
For real. And at the end of the day, what's the markup on a $10,000 trailer? Do you think maybe $1,500? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking around that 5 to 7%, maybe.
I mean, they're not making that much money, guys. It's okay.
No,
let them make their money. It's a business. Like let them. I think it's interesting.
And I beat him up over spare tires every time I go in there. I'm like, you're going to give me a spare tire for free, right?
Yeah. So this last dump trailer that I bought, I didn't even haggle with him at all. And I showed up and I didn't ask for a spare tire either. But I showed up and I was like, hey, so a spare tire? He's like, I already put it on there for you. I was like, okay. I'll take that. Like that's what a $300 concession, something like that. Like it's nothing really. But They took care of me because again, every new trailer that I've bought from the same place. So
yeah,
they like me.
And that's what I keep doing too. Is I keep going back to the same guy because I know I'm going to get taken care of, and that transcends over any business. Like if you continue to take care of your customers are going to come back because they know they're going to get handled the way they want to be handled, right?
Yes,
obviously,
yes.
And we can all agree on that. Is you got to take care of the customers because the customers will take care of you. That's the bottom line of it all. And that's why I keep going back to them. So yeah, I bought 5, came home, and then this spring bought another 2 from him. And then I just bought another one from him a couple of weeks ago. So we're up to 8.
And here's the thing, guys, if you're watching this and you haven't started yet, your gross revenue is directly proportional to the amount of trailers that you own. That's just the truth. That's the way that it works. And Ron, would you agree with that? Like,
yes, 100%.
Have you seen your income increase as you've bought new trailers? I mean,
100%.
it probably, like, you're probably saying no shit, like, duh, but
Yeah.
like,
Because you're giving more options out there to your customers, right? So if that customer lands on your website made by Rentflow, you're going to they're getting not, and if they're looking for a car trailer, you know good and well that they're taking inventory in their memory of what you have. So next spring, whenever it comes time, and they say, "Hey, the wife's been nagging at me to do the mulch in the front yard," well, I'm going to rent your dump trailer, and then that fall he's got to move his daughter to college. Guess what? He's going to rent your enclosed. So yes, it does. The more you have, the more it perpetuates, the return customer of different things.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone out to help a renter hook up, and they're like, "Oh, you have a dump trailer. Oh, you have one of
100%.
those. Oh, you have one of those." It's like,
Look
yeah,
at it this way: how many different flavors of cookies does Walmart have?
exactly.
And how often you go to Walmart to buy cookies and end up with the ice cream too?
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
I think Juan, we mentioned him earlier on TikTok and his other channels. He's the best example of that. He's got, I think he's up to 30 trailers
30.
now, and he
30.
openly says he's like, I don't want to rent all these trailers every day. He doesn't.
That would be a nightmare.
That is not my goal. He's got his goal, and I forget what he says it is, but it's
Two
a
a
couple
day.
of trailers like
Two a
a
day.
day. Like that's perfect for him. But because he has that availability, he will hit his goal every single time. He doesn't have to stress about, oh, this one trailer hasn't gone out. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. The rest of them are feeding the business. So he's a great example of that.
And also, inevitably, because there will be damage, guys, that just happens. If a trailer goes down, it's not that big a deal because you have the other of that same thing that is ready to go. Today, I had a call from a regular customer who's rented for me a couple times, wanting the stupid enclosed trailer that's gone to Florida that I'm not going to buy another one of. Stop it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Famous last words, Adam. Next week he's going to have another enclosed.
I'm not. No, I really am
I'm just going to go ahead and send him a tracker for it now.
Yeah, just put it in the mail.
Well, I ended up sending him to another Rentflow user who's here in town that has a bunch of enclosed, and this is a regular customer. Here's the thing. This is the crappy thing. As soon as one of your regulars calls you and you have to tell them no, and they find someone that says yes, you very well may have lost that regular customer. And that's why Juan does what he does. That's why his business motto is, if I have to say no to someone, I'm going to go and buy it right here, right now. I'm not going to, I have to say no to enclosed. That's just not the avenue that I want to go down. But it's very true, because that guy very well now may be a regular customer of Hitch Heroes. Johnny Yackel. Here in town. They're good people, and I don't mind sending them business for sure. But that's my customer, Johnny.
We want
that's all
him
I'm
back.
going to
say. We know where you live.
I have all your information, Johnny. I control your software, Johnny. Anyway, good times. Has this made you at all, Adam, want to rent out trailers, or are you like, hell no, that's not something I'm going to do?
I sold the tractor that I bought last October just because it was getting too many hours on it. It was kind of that happy medium. I still have the trailer, still have a couple other things that I could rent out. In fact, I rent out my fifth wheel. I've got a couple videos up of that. I've got a fifth wheel toy hauler that it's delivery only. I'll go deliver it, set it up, pick it up, all that kind of stuff, because I just don't trust somebody pulling my 44-foot triple axle down the road.
No,
people are dumb.
They'll go to the McDonald's drive-thru with that thing. They'll try to.
I'm not going to name names. My wife might have attempted.
Oh my God! Stop.
Yeah, we'll change the subject. But no, so again, I've got a very strong history in the rental world. I ran my event rental company for over a decade, and so I understand the ins and outs of it. I understand what makes it go and what makes it work. Like I said, I sold the tractor, but there have been many, many times this year where I've been like, oh, those bad boy tractors are on sale right now, and they got 0% financing for 84 months, and oh. That dealer I bought that other one from, they were great to work with. They could hook me up. It's still in the back of my mind. But I've got so much on my plate right now with growing Ride Dog, and it'd be wrong for me to take my eye off the ball. I've got to stay all in on this.
You are a true Hormozi student.
Yes.
100%. One thing. Hey, so here's an interesting tangent. I keep going on tangents. Hermosi comes from the fitness world. I'm sure you know that because you know who
Gym launch,
Hermosi
yep.
is. Gym launch, yep. I was never a gym launch customer. I almost did it, but I just I couldn't stomach it. He would charge you either $14,000 or $16,000 to run their play. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
not what I was going to. I don't even remember where I was going with all of that. Hermosi
We're
is a
probably going to
smart
talk
dude.
about that
Alex
lady in the red
is a
dress.
smart uh, businessman. But if you are wanting to be an entrepreneur and serve a community, the best thing that you can do is niche all the way down to something very granular, very specific. That is one of the reasons why RentFlow Solutions has been successful, because we are niched all the way down to trailer rental businesses. We're not will we service equipment? Yes. And like dumpsters, yes, we will, but that is not our focus. That is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to support trailer rental businesses. Niche all the way down. Don't try and serve everybody. Try and serve one person. And by serving one person specifically, then you're able to serve the other people that are just like that one person. So
100%. Yep.
there it is. I really appreciate that about you. That's really cool. I am too what's the word? Antsy to have just one thing. Like I have to be busy, and that is probably a flaw, a fatal flaw almost. But so the CrossFit gym, we have that going, and we have RemFlow, and then we have Sunnyside. But they're all doing really well, so I'll say that.
I'm very much the same way.
If I did, let's say I sold the gym and I sold Sunnyside Up Rentals, would RentFlow be that much busier? Honestly, it probably would be, because then you're forced to focus on that one thing. So
Yeah.
there's that.
It's actually been a lot of fun for me to build Ride Dog, because it scratches that itch for me. Because I'm the same way. Like I've got other businesses I want to start, other things I want to go do, but the different things that we're building out with Ride Dog, it scratches that itch. Like, oh, I want to go do something new, so I'm going to go focus on this new feature that we've been talking about. I'm going to figure out the ins and outs of that, so that I can bring that to my market that I already have. At least for now, it scratches that itch of that desire to just always be doing something more, something exciting, something different.
Let me ask you something, because you have the reputation in the trailer rental world. I'm going to put you on the spot. You have the reputation in the trailer rental world of always being available. And that is not scalable.
Here we go.
That is not scalable. That is not something that you can sustain. I don't know how many customers you have, but when you have 5 times as many customers, it's not something that you can sustain. So how does Ride Dog manage that when you're 5 times busier?
I think it's going to be kind of like the Walmart strategy. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but you can go to walmart.com and you can write a letter to the president. I used to work for Walmart years and years ago. And you can go write a complaint, a compliment, whatever you want, and send it direct to corporate headquarters. And they read them. They read them every day, and they get sent right back to whatever store it belonged to. And if it was something bad, you have to go out there and contact that customer. You have to resolve the issue. You have to report back to corporate. There's always that connection to the bigger side of the company. So as Ride Dog grows, there may be customer service people that answer the phone. There may be a tech support person that helps out with that kind of stuff. But no matter what, there will always be a number where customers can reach me directly. Hopefully, that if they don't feel the need that they need to come straight to me, they can get their issues, questions, whatever, resolved through other channels. Great. But I will always have a means, a direct phone number where people can reach out and hit me up directly.
And that's the one thing that surprised me a lot, is the couple times that you and I have talked, Adam, has probably, I think it's been through Messenger and a couple times through email. And it's like, holy cow. And it was fast. It wasn't like the next day. It was like within an hour. And that was, it made me raise an eyebrow, because I'm like, this doesn't happen today in this world. It just doesn't happen. And that's why I was so impressed with Ride Dog, was I was like, I'm talking to the owner and I've talked to him within an hour. That never happens, except at Ride Dog.
And truthfully, we're going to get transparent here. We didn't build that into RentFlow because our goal is to help as many people as possible. And so, yes, myself and John are very available, but I do need people to go through the proper channels because I'm only one person, right? And I was sharing this with Ron. I showed him 3 screenshots in a row of my Facebook DMs, and it was literally Renflow people, Renflow people, Renflow people. And it's like at some point, like you have to delegate and push things away because then things fall through the cracks and someone gets missed and inevitably someone gets upset or whatever, and it's just like I truly sincerely want people to be taken care of, but I also selfishly want to be able to have family time and to be able to shut down and maybe even turn off my phone and watch a movie with my family. You know what I mean? Like that's okay too.
Don't
And
know
I
what you mean.
think that
Sorry.
do what?
Said don't know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly, right. But
It's not
I
healthy in all aspects, though, for sure.
I would hope that when Renflow users hear that, they would be like, "Yeah, I want that for you too." You know what I mean? Like I do believe that because like we're all human, right? And we all need to be able. My wife tells me all the time, "Stop already. Stop working already." I like it's a constant thing. Like stop working already. And so you have to be willing to shut down sometimes and be willing to shut down sometimes. And Renflow guys out there, if you're listening, like that's the honest truth. Like I have to be able to put my do not disturb on and watch a movie with my kid and my wife, and so I'm sorry if I can't get to you right away, but we have systems in place where you'll get an instant answer anyway. Just be willing to go there. Just be
Let
willing
Finn
to
be your
use that.
friend.
Finn, our AI agent, knows Renflow probably better than I do, if we're being honest. So be willing to go there first. And if it doesn't have an answer for you, then yes, absolutely hit me up. But use that first.
Didn't you tell me that somebody actually called Sunnyside just to get a hold of you because
Dude,
you did?
they
That's crazy to me. That's like wild. That's like you're fired.
they went through the trouble of finding the phone number that's listed for Sunnyside Up Rentals so that they could get me on the phone so that I could tell them how to find their rental agreement in their system, when all they had to do was click the little chat bubble in their Renflow platform and say, "How do I find my rental agreement?" And it would have said, "Click here, click here, click here, click here." Like we have systems in place. Like use them. Come on, guys.
And even the backside of the system to find that sort of thing with RentFlow isn't
Yeah.
that hard. You could
No.
literally hunt and peck for 20 minutes and find anything that you want to find in it. It's like, that's just mind numbing.
You know what I don't fault them for though is a lot of people still want that human interaction, and I'm okay with that. And I want to interact with you
Sure.
too, and I still
Sure.
do, and I will all day long. But sometimes I have to be willing to disconnect. And at this point, we're closing in on 500 Renflow users. Like I literally cannot be your only source of truth. Like you have to be willing to use other avenues because I am literally only one person. So be willing to use them. I don't know how often do you get DMs and text messages and calls, Adam, per day? If you had to put a number on it.
Dozens.
Dozens, yeah.
See, for me, it's a little bit different because, if somebody can't get a hold of you, if they can't figure out something on your platform, the world might not end, right? For me, it could be a situation where, hey, my trailer's being stolen right now. I need this information right now because I've got the police on the phone on one side, I've got my wife chasing them on the other side, I'm doing this. That's where I feel like we have to be available.
It's similar to us too, though. No, and this is the truth, and this is where like I have to be cognizant of it because it's not equivalent, obviously. Well, kind of it is. It's the emergency stuff that we get is I'm standing here with this customer trying to get them checked out, and for some reason something is doing something, right? And so yes, it is. That's an emergent situation that I need a human for, and so 100% I totally understand that, and we need to be available for that. But a lot of times it's like, how do I find this document? How do I figure out how much taxes I paid last quarter. Those little questions that our AI agent absolutely can answer for you. It's all there. You just have
Or
to ask.
something that can wait until 9 o'clock the next morning too.
Yeah, it's okay.
The number of people that blow it, like I get people that will call me, text me, email me, shoot me a message on Facebook, DM me, like crap, the world's ending, something's going on, I better get a hold of these guys. So I'll reach out to them, like, hey, my tracker's not tracking. Did you turn it on? No.
Self-explanatory.
It's turned on. The second line down in the app that says power off should have been a clue. Like, I can't say that to people, but yeah, and that's the thing.
They're going to hear it now, Adam. They're going to hear your inner dialogue right now when they see this podcast.
Man, the stories I could tell. I love.
I don't doubt it.
Some of them.
We had a Coke. Or I don't think Ron knows this story.
Man,
guys, if y'all hear this, this is all with love. Like, it's okay. Like, we've all made this mistake. We had a customer that their Ride Dog sync with RentFlow Fleet would not connect. It would not connect. And I kept asking them, are you sure you're synced in do you have your tracker set up in Ride Dog? Yes, I see the trackers in Ride Dog. They were looking at the invoice in Ride Dog. They never set up their trackers in Ride Dog. And I spent a good half a day trying to troubleshoot why that connection wasn't, why wasn't RentFlow reading those trackers from Ride Dog? It's because they were never there. They never set them up. It's like, oh my God. It took me getting their login information, logging into their Ride Dog and being like, guys, guess what? Your trackers are not set up. Oh my God.
You actually have to pair the tracker with the asset. The two have to go together.
Yeah. That's okay. But you know what that does for me? Like, when I have that type of scenario and outside of this specific situation, like when someone struggles that much to figure out something, I look at myself and I look at RentFlow and I'm like, what did we not explain well enough to get you to this point? Because obviously something went awry somewhere and we need to be better at explaining how to make these connections. So that is not their fault.
We've been working on an app update for a long, long time. I remember back at the picnic back in February, I was telling people, a month or two at the most, we're gonna have this done. Like, it's ready to go.
Famous last words in software.
Right there, Rudy, that keep pushing it down the road for us, because we need to improve this side of things. This is where people are getting stuck. We need to make this a better user experience, a better user interface. It has to flow better, and a lot of that requires a full rebuild. Now, officially, this is the official. We are done building the app. It is ready to go. We are at the process now of buttoning it up. We've turned it over to our new dev guy to say, hey, get this ready to submit to Apple and to Google for approval. But it is done. But so much what's in that app update is exactly what you just said, Rudy. It was just, how do we make this one part not a hang up for people? Like the simple fact that how do I know if my tracker's turned on? Well, there's a button that says power, but how can I make that more obvious? How can I communicate, hey, the fact that this whole page is red or whatever we're doing with it means it doesn't have power. It's not tracking anything. You are not protected right now. So yeah, that's the side of the business that it's I don't want to say it's fun because it's frustrating solving problems all the time, but that's what makes the business grow and that's what makes the business better. And if anyone's out there listening to this, yes, we are done with the app update, but we have a whole list of things we're still working on. So feedback is always welcome. Good, bad, ugly. I'm here for
100%.
Throw it my way, because that's the only way we can make things better for you guys.
We're the same way. And truthfully, this new RentFlow platform that we just announced, that was kind of the driving focus, is how do we make this where someone logs in and can just figure it out on their own? That really was the goal. You should be able to just log in there and be like, it kind of makes sense to click this. Oh yeah, look at that. It works.
Well, now you've got, and it's got a button that says click here to have all the buttons explained.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. So that's the goal. And inevitably, and we've already had a couple where they're like, how do I do that? And it's like, I need to go and I need to explain that better, because obviously people aren't understanding the way that I want them to. It's way easier for someone like me who literally designed it to be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. It's super easy. It's not necessarily going to be super easy for someone that's never been in there, and so that is 100% fair for them to not understand the way that I understand. Like that's duh.
Yeah.
Like and
we eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. They
yeah,
are seeing it
exactly,
for the first time.
exactly. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun doing this, and it's interesting. I kept telling John I need testers. I need beta testers because they surface things that I wouldn't have considered. Um, Going through the process on my own, and man, I can't tell you how many iterations. I think I like literally edits on the software, probably 150 to 200 edits. Like, oh, like I didn't realize that. Let me go back. And it's constant going back and forth. And thankfully, we had people like Ron who were willing to test this thing and, let it be what it was, and have the glitches and whatever to finally get to this point where like it's a good product. What do you think of all this stuff that like did it feel like it would be easy from what we showed on the webinar?
Are you asking me or asking?
Yeah, I'm asking you,
me?
Adam.
Yeah, 100%. My focus as I was watching you go through all that, I was listening to people's commentary, watching the comments popping up, and yeah, I think you guys did an excellent job of listening to what people were requesting, what they were complaining about, and finding solutions to it. I also think that every time you try to make something idiot proof, somebody comes out with a better idiot, right? I think there'll be more opportunities now that you've got this. Like, okay, well, I was used to it that way, and I don't understand why you did this. So now we got a problem over here that you're like, that wasn't even on my radar. Where'd you come up with that idea? Like, so I think there'll be more of that coming along. But that's what happens with growth and with change. But
you have to be willing to acknowledge that you're not going to make everyone happy, and that is the honest truth.
Yeah,
that is the honest truth. And at this point, like I feel like we're gonna make about 99% of the people out there happy. But even then, like it's like, well, do you have different tax rates that you can apply to different things? Well, dude, no. Like it's all one. It all falls under the rental. Like you only need one for what we're trying to do. But there's always going to be that, that one off like niche. Like I need to be able to do this, and it's like our software doesn't do that. I'm sorry. But again, it does.
The wheel is still round, no matter how you take a look at it. And people want to try and reinvent it sometimes, and it's like it doesn't. Yeah.
It's funny you say that. That's one thing we say about Ride Dog is I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel. GPS trackers are out there. They're a dime a dozen. There's a ton of companies doing them. What I'm looking for is to make it better, right? So we have NATDA coming up in Nashville here. I went to the NATDA show in Reno, February of last year. Kind of went incognito, went under my another company's name because there was 4 GPS tracker companies there that had booths, and so I wanted to kind of see what my competition was doing, talk to them on a deeper level. And I walked out of there and I called my business partner and I said, dude, we are in a boring, outdated industry that is desperate for modernization. And he was like, hey, cool, what are we going to do? I said, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. And again, with this app that's coming out, I think that's going to be the ultimate version of whatever we came up with there. But that's, yeah, the wheel is still the wheel. It's just making it shiny, making it bigger, making it whatever you want it to be. But
and it's funny you talk about how outdated it was. So when I first got into this, like I looked at that tracking device and I said to myself, literally, I was like, this platform has to be at least a decade old. Because it was so archaic. And I'm like, isn't there anything better out there than this? And yeah.
I'm not going to name names because they might see this, but there's one of the main ones we've already mentioned here. Their code was based in 2014. My business partner was able to go on and kind of see the back end and what's out there. And the bulk of it was from 2014. And you're just like, but again, I think that's where, and I would bet if I was a betting man and I had money to just throw out, 10 years from now, I would bet that Rudy is still driving and pushing his platform forward because these other platforms, I think they get what's good enough and they're making money hand over fist and they say, we don't need to make improvements. Everybody else is happy. Why should we go do it? Like they're just raking in the dough.
Yeah.
And I would bet Rudy and John and all those guys, the whole team, they could be sleeping on mattresses full of cash and still be looking for ways to make things better.
Yeah, let me say this real quick, and this goes to everyone out there that's wanting to start something for yourself. If you are not growing, you're dying.
You're
in
dying.
business. Hear that again. If you are not growing, you are dying, and that goes for every single business out there. And so, absolutely, 100%, we're pushing out this new RentFlow version. You think we're done? This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Like, we will not stop. And it's funny. So you said like you're in this boring like niche. Yeah, you want to make the thing sexy. Your goal is to make tracking trailers sexy. How the hell do you do that? Well, you're gonna fucking figure it out, right? Yep. That's the same thing we're doing with the software side. We're gonna make booking people on your software on your website sexy. That's really what it comes down to. Like, that's what we want. We want it to be modern. We want it to be fast. We want it to make sense. We want it to be easy. And we want you to want to use the product. And if you stop innovating, you become the old man in the room. And you cannot, in business, you cannot afford to be the old man in the room. Because you get
and it's funny because one night I literally said, because we were on, Rudy was like, we're going to launch this thing this next Friday. And I'm like, okay, we're done betaing this thing. We're going to push it. You guys are going to push out. That's great. Rudy, do me a favor. Can we have this platform for like 8 months? He's like, no, we're going to make this thing better. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be 8 months and I'm going to have to learn another one.
So RentFlow isn't even 2 years old. We're not. Right. We'll be and 2 years old in December. This is version 4 that we're coming up on. Version 4. Yes.
I've been around for 3.
No. Well, so no. The original. You weren't around for the original. You know what you had to do? You weren't on the webinar. So version 1 of our calendars, your renter would go on, and yes, they would pick the start date, but then in a text field, they would say, I want to return on this other date. So then you would have to go in on the back end and adjust their appointment to actually represent all of the days that they want to rent, and then charge them from there and like do all of the work manually. Like, that was V1, and we were killing it with V1. Like, but that's just where the software was at that point, and there were no competitors. But now today, like, could you imagine having to do all that? Like, the software does everything for you, and it's smart, and it knows who your customers are.
You want to talk about being out of business with everything that's out there now? That would
RentFlow would, like, today with that version, RentFlow wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't. That's the honest truth.
But see, the very heart of that, though. There's 2 points. The old business saying, first you make it exist and then you make it great, right? You got to start with something.
Just start.
Also going back to Alex Hormozzi is, if you're willing to outwork anybody else, you will beat any company out there.
100%.
There's another 100%. One of the biggest company questions that shows up in the Facebook groups is, I'm in a really saturated area. There's a ton of people doing this. How is it even worth doing? Yeah, it's worth doing, but only if you're willing to put the work into it.
Yep.
This is not passive income. There is no such thing as passive income, in my opinion. You have to work for it. It does not matter what it is. But if you treat this like a real business and you're willing to put the time into it, you will smoke any competition out there. It does not matter how crowded your industry is, how saturated it is. Outwork them, outgrind them,
and you
will 100% make it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I said that today. I said that today to a guy on a post. He was asking what trailer, and I said, it doesn't matter what trailer, just start. And whenever you start, make sure you work it, because that's where it's all about. You could start off with a utility trailer. If you're willing to work that utility trailer to every need that it's available to, you will become the utility trailer king. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. And that is like, it's almost cringy for me to think back to the very, very beginning, but we were passionate and we took care of our RentFlow users and we made it work. And most of those guys, honestly, like almost all of them are still with us. Those OG guys that were there at the very, very beginning are still here with us through four variations of what Renflo has been. So it's been really cool to see the growth. You know, one of those guys literally had 0 trailers when he started with us. Now he has over 20, and he's doing side by sides and he's doing all this other stuff. And it's like, man, this is incredible. Like, we've been there the entire time, and now you're bringing in like $30,000 a month. Like, who the heck are you?
Crazy.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. Guys, we are over an hour. We try and keep it to 30 minutes. Thanks, Adam, for screwing up our 30-minute rule.
Yeah, Adam, we're going to blame you for this.
I accept it 100%.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again. That was a lot of fun.
Good fun, guys.
All right. Well, until next time, we'll see you soon.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.